Hello, it is I, Ledin.
And this is chapter 8, how to play neutral with Ibuki. In this chapter I will give some tips on how to play the neutral with Ibuki, going from jump, dash, walk, buttons and more. The first option is jumping. Jumping is important in Street Fighter V because the risk versus reward is in most cases very good and it's harder to anti-air in Street Fighter V. It is important that you jump sometimes at the opponent to make the opponent aware of this option you have, even if you get anti-aired. The more options you present to the opponent, the harder it is for him to react to all of them. Ibuki also has the added bonus of being able to alter her jump arc with jump kunai and ex.kunai. Let's start with the one that most people learn first, just a simple jump HK. You can use this when you jump from further away or if you know you will stay in front. For a cross-up you have two options, jump MK and jump LK. If you can space it properly so you land directly above them, then jump MK can be very good because it's very hard to see if it is cross-up or not. The disadvantage of jump MK is that it's very easy to walk under and in my opinion easier to anti-air. Jump LK in that sense is a lot better because it's harder to walk under or anti-air. When done properly it can also be very hard to see if it is cross-up or not, so I think this is the best cross-up button. When you see that someone is starting to anti-air your jump-ins, you can use jump kunai or jump ex.kunai to bait this, making it very hard to anti-air Ibuki. The next time you jump in, the opponent might also hesitate a bit because he isn't sure what you will do. The second option is to dash in. You can do this when he least expects it, for example when he whiffs a button or when he is looking for the anti-air because you jumped before, or if he never checks the dash. A small tip I can give on this is normally when you do a dash raw and neutral, you will see that your character shakes a bit before dashing. Some people use this to see the dash coming. What you can do is hide your dash behind the recovery of a button so they can't see the shake before the dash starts. For example, in neutral, if you sometimes press cr.lp because you think a dash is coming, or when they block your MP from close, you can input a dash afterwards which won't have the visual shake from when you do it raw, making it much harder to spot and punish. The third option is the walk-in. Now, this seems very straightforward, just like the dash or jump, but this part is one of the most important parts in the video. A lot of people forgot about this or don't know about this, but with simple walking towards the opponent, you can gain a lot of information and possibilities. Keep in mind, although I say simply walking forward, in fighting games, this is one of the most scary things to do. So you start with walking towards the opponent and looking what the opponent does. The first thing that can happen is that he is walking back, not pressing a lot of buttons. This means he is either not confident in that range, or he wants to make your buttons whiff so he can whiff punish you, or he wants to do safe buffers. In that case, just as shown in the video, just walk forward, block, walk forward, block. Eventually he will be in the corner where you want him to be, and now he can't escape or move back to whiff punish you. This is the best situation to be in. The second thing that can happen is that as soon as you walk in range of his favorite or longest button, he will use that button because he wants to avoid you getting in at all cost. In that case, you can walk in that specific range and then take a step back and wait or press a button. Essential an anticipation whiff punish. Your goal is to make him flinch and press a button so you can anticipate that and then whiff punish him. The third option is what you want to do once you conditioned your opponent. The opponent sits still in down back and doesn't press nor move. This way you can walk in until you are close and then start doing pressure from close. It is important to note that if you choose this option to walk all the way in, there is nothing worse than only closing half the distance between you and the opponent and then whiffing your button. In a match it could be that the opponent changes his options. For example, at first he might always walk back towards the corner, but because he doesn't want to be there, the next time you try this, he might start doing buttons as soon as you are in range. Or because he lost so much space, he might go for a jump or dash to quickly gain it back. Once you get a grasp of all the options and what to do, this can be very scary for the opponent. The last part I want to talk about is which buttons you can use in neutral and how. The first button I want to talk about is cr.lp. This is the button I mostly use in neutral when my opponent dashes a lot or when I need a rest moment. This button has good hit and hurt boxes and very fast recovery, so it's mostly safe to use in neutral. You can also hit confirm this button in cr.lp, or on counter hit in cr.lp standing medium punch or cr.lp standing LK. MP kinda serves the same purpose. Good dash checker button, low recovery and possible to hit confirm and MP linked in LK. MP can also be buffered in HKDP or for whiff punishing if you are good with this. LK is a great buffer or whiff punish tool if you can buffer it without the DP coming out on whiff. Kinda the same as with Sakura, but the buffer window is a lot shorter. Personally, I can't do this 100%, but if you can, this would be a great tool to use. cr.mk is a poke I used to use a lot, but now a lot less, since it doesn't really lead to anything except when you have V-trigger. I think cr.lp is a better poke in this sense than crouch medium kick. Crouch medium punch is the main buffer and wish whiff punish tool that I use. You can use this button as a wish whiff punish button or for the buffers in neutral, cancelled in HKDP or ex.kunai, or from a bit closer into Raida. Be careful with the recovery though, since it is now more than it used to be, and characters like Karen, Akuma and Swan can really punish you for this. Forward HK is one of Ibuki's best buttons. It's a great counter poke, crush counter button. Goes over lows and is only -4 on block, making it very hard for a lot of characters to punish it. A small tip on this, it's better to hit this button a bit closer so it either hits or they have to block it, than to whiff this button because the recovery is pretty big and it's very easy to whiff punish it. Vskill is not a tool you would normally think of as a button, but you can see the Vskill in neutral as a slow, long range button. Be careful though if they jump a lot, because you will eat a full jump and combo. The last button I want to talk about is standing HK. Normally this isn't the best button in neutral, but versus fireball characters it can catch the startup hurt box, giving you a full CC combo. So I think from time to time versus fireball characters it can be very useful. That was chapter 8, how to play neutral with Ibuki. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and learned something along the way. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Thank you for watching and look forward to the next chapter.